So, did you know it's been since Christmas that I've had a haircut?
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's just been letting it grow. For everybody listening, I have a hat on right now, so Josh couldn't see my hair all
well. I noticed last week at church when you were talking, I was like, wow, this is, I think, the longest I've ever seen Josh's hair.
It's pretty close to it, I think, now. But I missed a haircut at one point in time because I actually had something else going on, and then I was like, I guess I'll just let it grow now.
Right.
And I canceled my next appointment that I had because I had two of them in a row already set up and stuff, and just haven't gotten a cut since. And so now I'm to the point where I'm like kind of curious,
as of seeing how long you can let it go.
Yeah, because I haven't done there's nothing done to my hair. Like the only Brooke trimmed up my neck down here in the weird spots that get kind of crazy looking, and that's about it.
I have an appointment next Saturday. Which I didn't realize at the time, but as of we were recording this, next Sunday is Easter.
Yep.
Which is really weird because this year so far has flown by.
Yeah.
It's almost the end of April by the time that we're recording this, and by the time you're hearing this is actually the beginning of May. Yep.
Time keeps on slipping
into the Space Jam. Oh. So I have a would you rather question.
I love those.
Would you rather know the answer to every question ever asked or be able to change one event in your past?
Oh, know the answer to every question ever asked. Like that. You're saying anytime somebody asks me a question, the answer just automatically is in my head and I can give it to them? Yeah, I'm down for that all day.
Really?
Yeah. So I've just always been every time people ask questions like this, I've always been a firm believer of the fact that everything that happened in my past it's what shaped me to be who I am today and stuff, and I don't think that any of it was by accident. I think it's all by design on God's part. And so I always kind of looked at it from that perspective, and I've never had anything. There's nothing in my past that I can think of that if
definitively that hey, if
the only thing I ever think of about my past as far as I guess in essence, I wouldn't say really a regret, but just looking back on it and going I really wish I'd have handled this different. I just wish I would have saved more money when I was younger.
I mean, 100%.
Everybody says that though. 100%. You know what I'm saying? But that's the only thing for me.
Yeah. Aside from that caveat, I kind of think I would rather know the answer to every question ever asked. Even if it's, because you could use that to exploit a lot of stuff. Jeopardy, go on Jeopardy.
Oh yeah.
Even if you did that, because nobody would know.
That'd be great. You could win every game show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on the flip side of that is, if you ask my wife, she'd say I probably think that I know the answer to every question anyway.
We do, so it's fine.
So it'd be even better if I actually did. Didn't have to pretend anymore. So.
But it's one of those things where it's at what cost? At what cost?
Yeah.
But it's nope. I'd rather be right than happy, or than happy and right wrong, or something like that.
Yep.
Hush. Anyway, good morning.
I think I tracked with you.
Anyway, good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Josh.
Recognize me? No? Well, I'm Josh.
I got suspended from school because of Josh.
You're going to be there with me in every way imaginable, Josh.
Josh is truly in a trance, yeah.
I went to high school with Josh, and I can tell you right now, he's a terrific kisser.
Hi, I'm Josh.
Josh, these are people's jobs we're talking about, Josh.
Josh walking in the door wasn't even close.
Josh, you are a muffin-snuggling pirate puncher.
Josh is a good guy. We can talk to him.
Please welcome Joshua. Josh.
I was thinking, you and I both love movies.
We do love movies, yeah.
And we quote movies,
all the time.
And it's one of those things where it's movies cost a lot of money to make.
Hey, speaking of quoting movies real quick before we dive into this, when we went on the trip to North Carolina, there's a new guy named Matt that's a friend of Gabe's. Gabe listens to the show. But Matt went with us, and he is right in our line of
I know
humor. Oh, that's right.
I was going to say, you keep forgetting that I know Matt.
I forgot about that. Yeah. So I'm going to cut
listen
that
to the podcast at least?
I don't know.
Well, he should.
He should. Yeah.
I thought you were going to
Gabe and Wyatt and all you guys that listen. If he hasn't listened to it yet, you need to get Matt listening to the podcast.
His brother.
And his brother. I don't know his brother.
AJ. Anyway, all right. So again, we love movies. They cost a lot of money to make.
Yep.
So I was wondering if you knew what the top 10 domestic grossing movies of all time were.
Oh man.
Now this is like,
I'm gonna bet that I don't, but I have some guesses.
so like this is like from the 80s, from the 70s, like all time.
All time.
All right,
Highest
so-
grossing.
Okay, we can do this a couple ways. Like if you want to try to guess, or if you want to throw some movies out there, and I can tell you where they're on the list, because some of these are like, and this is all, like I said, adjusted for inflation.
Right.
So this is as of 2025. So this is currently
Very current. Okay.
all time adjusted for inflation.
All right. I'll throw some guesses out there. We'll see.
Okay,
if they
I'll
land.
tell you if they are on the list and where they are ranked.
So the big one right off the bat, Titanic.
It is on the list.
Yeah, I figured it had.
Do you want to take a guess where it is?
As far as highest grossing, I'm gonna go with Titanic is number 6.
Nope. Number 2.
Number 2. Okay, so it was higher than I thought.
So it came in as total box office of $1,553,447,026.
That is wild.
Okay. All right. What's another one? I think number 1 will actually surprise you.
I would almost guarantee it probably will. Wasn't Avatar like one of the highest grossing?
Mm-hmm. Avatar, adjusted for inflation, came out in 2009, is number 5.
Number 5.
At $1.142 billion.
Jeez. Quick side note, like for everybody listening, I've said this before. You should take some time to look into how much $1 billion is. It's
Right.
more than you think.
It is so much more.
It's wild.
And like, it's one of those things where, and again, side tangent, like if you think of it in seconds, it is insane to think about.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you even if you can't imagine $1 billion, like time is a thing that we all know how to measure.
Yeah.
Think of it in that aspect. It'll make you curl up in the fetal
It's
position.
crazy. Yeah. So anyways, back to the
All right. So Avatar was number 5.
So okay, we got Titanic, we got Avatar.
So you're in the top 10 with both of these guesses.
Yeah. So I would throw Forrest Gump
Forrest Gump.
as an option.
Okay, 1994's Forrest Gump comes just out of the top 10
Really?
at number 12.
Okay.
It is actually the first one that grossed under $1 billion at $909 million.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah. A great movie, though.
Yeah, awesome movie. I'm trying to think of what other ones would be. Gone with the Wind, was that a high grossing
Gone
one?
with the Wind.
It's very highly acclaimed. But we can stick with the top 10. We can just tell me
Yeah.
if they're not there. Man, I think you're gonna have to go to trying to give me hints and let me try to guess which
All right,
one.
so
Start at number 10. Let's work our way
number
up
10.
to 1.
It's the start of a series that we both enjoy.
Is it Star Wars?
Yes.
Okay.
Episode 1.
Yeah.
1999, A Phantom Menace grossed just over $1 billion at $1,034 million.
All right.
Another movie that we enjoy that is part of the series. Series started off very strong, has kind of fallen off with all the...
A series that we enjoy that's fallen off over time. Batman?
Nope. There are no Batmans on in the
Oh,
top 10.
wait. Is it Marvel?
Nope.
Really? Because you're not a Marvel guy.
Right.
I don't know then. I'm at a loss on this one.
The 1993 classic, Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah. That's solid.
Dude, the first movie is so good.
It was very good.
It still holds up, too.
That's my wife Brooke. That's Jurassic Park is like one of her favorite series of all time. She loves it.
I know she reads when she can, but the book is so good.
Yeah.
And that grossed a little bit more than episode 1 at $1,052 million.
Jeez.
All right. Now, number 8.
Number 8.
Again, coming back to a series that
You
we
and I
both
like?
love. Yep.
Okay. Really? Another one.
Mm-hmm. It's dominated. I would say it's dominated by that series. So I will throw that bone to you.
It's dominated by what? What do you mean?
By the series that we both love that we actually just talked about last episode that we didn't pick for the best fantasy sci-fi series.
By Star Wars? Mm-hmm. So it's another Star Wars movie?
Yep.
Okay. So spot number 10 and spot number 8 are both taken up by Star Wars. And so-
Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the top 10 are actually Star Wars movies.
Really?
Yes. I will give you that.
I'm gonna have a hard time guessing which ones are in which places. Then that's gonna,
I think
that's gonna make it really
as far
difficult.
as like where this sits at number 8 is it's not. It's probably my third favorite of the movies, maybe 2.
So episode 6.
Mm-hmm. Episode 6.
Okay, that makes
Return
sense.
of the Jedi. It barely beat out Jurassic Park. It was at 1,059,800,000 and Jurassic Park was 1,059,300,000.
Wow, so pretty close
Yeah.
together. Then.
All right. So we are going out of the Star Wars universe into another franchise that I really don't care too much about. It's not that I don't care about it. It's just it's never tickled my fancy.
Okay.
Only movie out of this franchise that is in the top 10.
Is it the Marvel universe? So is it Infinity War or something along those lines, right? Like one of the big ones.
It's Endgame.
Endgame.
Endgame
Yeah.
is,
That's-
and
I couldn't think of the name of it, but I knew it had to be one of those two because they were just massive.
Endgame comes back at 1.1 basically.
Okay, so $1.1 billion.
Yep.
Which is crazy.
All of the next ones are pushing 1.1 and above.
Okay, so then we already know what number 6 is.
No, we know what number 5 is.
Number 5 is okay.
So you've guessed number 5 and number 2.
Right. So number 6. What's my hint for that one?
Another Star Wars movie.
Oh, okay. So so we're just guessing between. I'm just gonna go episode 3.
Nope, not episode 3.
Episode 5.
Yep, episode
Yep,
5.
all right.
Episode
I'm
3.
going on which-
Episode 3 is not in the top 10.
I'm going on which ones I'm like ranking kind of higher in my mind, at least for myself and stuff. So episode 5. That kind of makes sense. Was that number 6? And how
Episode 3 isn't even in the top 20.
much? Wow.
It's not even. It's
But episode 1 was number 10, right?
Yes, episode 1 was number 10.
Jeez.
All right, so we have Empire Strikes Back. Number 5 we know is Avatar.
Yep.
Number 4,
Okay.
another Star Wars movie.
Another Star Wars movie. So we've eliminated 1, 5, and 6 so far. So number 4,
No,
number 2.
no, you're gonna hate it.
It's seriously, it's from those stupid ones. Number 8. No.
7.
Oh, 7. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I skipped
Force
over one.
Awakens, $1.2 billion. All
Boo.
right, number
I get it though because nobody knew yet.
right, that it was bad.
Yeah, like everybody's going to see it because everybody was Star Wars fans and they just wanted
Right.
more Star Wars. We just didn't know how
Wait,
badly
was
they
that
were going to
okay?
screw things
So
up.
did the new Star Wars series start after Rogue One, or was Rogue One Rogue One was after everything, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was after all that stuff came out. So
Which is
the
incredible.
Episode 7 dropped, and then I think Rogue One came out not long after Episode 7, before Episode 8 came out. So, yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, the series is going to be good because of Rogue One, and it was just completely
no.
hot garbage.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
number 3 is a classic, and it was actually a topic of a discussion we had
Oh, gosh.
in one of our very first episodes
My memory is awesome.
about a video game
About a video game.
buried in the desert in Nevada.
Oh, E.T.?
E.T. was number
Really?
3
That's surprising to me.
at $1.524 billion.
That's impressive. I mean, I know it's for inflation and stuff, but still, like, even at that time period, that's impressive. I didn't think that E.T. would be that high up there, but I suppose it's definitely like a big enough movie in that respect to think of it, but I don't know. I just didn't see it being in the top 3, especially.
Yeah. And then we knew Titanic was number 2. So number 1.
Number 1 highest grossing movie of all time.
Yep. And it is a Star Wars movie.
Really?
Yep.
It better not be 8 or 9, because I'm going to flip tables, bro. I'm absolutely going to flip tables.
It's not.
No, it can't be. Well, it's got to be episode 4, right?
Episode 4.
Yeah, I do hope.
$1.8 billion adjusted for inflation.
Man alive, 1.8 billion. Which that makes total sense though, because watching the documentaries about that movie and just the people that were lined around the block to see it when it first came out.
Yeah,
people are crazy.
Well, I
about
mean,
that
you have
movie.
to think there really wasn't a ton of movies like that movie.
There was nothing like it. I mean,
because
up to
you
that
had
point. Even just the special effects
Yeah.
stuff that they pulled off in it with as low of a budget as it was and everything.
and I mean, you have to think a lot of it was practical too. I mean, a lot of it was
Yeah.
done with miniatures and things like that. So we'll run down the top 25. We'll come back to this because, both of our memories kind of are terrible. So number 1, we have episode 4. Number 2, Titanic. At 3, E.T. Number 4, episode 7. Number 5, Avatar. Number 6, Josh is just shaking his head right now.
It hurts me that episode 7 is that high up.
Number 6 is episode 5. Number 7 is Avengers Endgame. Number 8 is episode 4. No, episode 6, I'm sorry. I can't read Roman numerals. Number 9 is Jurassic Park.
Nomen Ruminals.
Number 10 is episode 1. Coming in just outside the top 10, The Lion King, the original 1994 Lion King.
I knew The Lion King was going to be close. I just didn't know if it would be placed in the top 10.
It was actually the last one that grossed over $1 billion, adjusted for inflation.
Gotcha. Because the hard thing for The Lion King is that it's an animated kids movie.
But it's
still
so good.
I agree. It's one of the best movies ever made by far. But at the same time, it's like when you put yourself in the kind of a niche category to any degree, right, you limit yourself from so much. And I think that's why all those top movies were ones that they're rated PG-13 and above. I think for most of the ones that were on that list.
Yeah, I think all of them were PG-13 and above.
But at the same time, you think about Star Wars, you think about the in-game stuff,
the
all
accessibility
of those
to all ages.
Everybody can watch it.
Yeah. All right, so we talked about number 12, Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Number 13, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Ooh, that's a solid choice. That should have been way up there.
I know. Number 14, Spider-Man No Way Home, which I did enjoy that movie.
That was a good movie.
Number 15 is The Avengers, the original 2012 Avengers.
Yeah, the OG.
Number 16 is Jurassic World. I have mixed feelings about the new Jurassic World. I'm excited for the new one.
Yeah. I'll say that I have enjoyed the newer Jurassic Park movies, right? Like, I cinematically, they're fun to watch. Mm-hmm. Story-wise,
they fall apart.
They're really rough, dude. Like the whole deal in the last one with the little girl and I don't know if it was, maybe it was the,
I don't think I watched
one,
the very last one. I know, like, the second to last of the newest ones was they were selling the dinosaurs on the black market.
So that's the one I'm talking about.
I think that was like the second.
There's like the little girl that her DNA is somehow involved in like cloning her. She was like a clone of somebody, and then they have like the big Indominus Rex or whatever the crazy one was.
From the first Jurassic, from this one was Jurassic World, because Jurassic World was the one where they have the park. They bred the Indominus Rex.
Rex is in there.
It escapes.
So in the following one, they have like this little girl that's like a clone because they figured that stuff out. They've created this thing that's like the Indominus Rex and something else now blended together, and it's like, dude,
yeah,
you guys are just rehashing the same.
Which is really funny because if you read the books, I have a very good theory about Malcolm in the second book. But
oh, really? Okay.
And it involves cloning. Yeah. But anyway, all right. So Jurassic World, 2015 Jurassic World is number 16. Number 17 is 2018's Black Panther. I enjoyed that one.
Solid movie, yeah.
18 is 1977's classic Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Okay.
19 is 2018's Infinity War, which that seems a little bit low on this list. I
think so. Infinity War was a good movie.
I mean, it still grossed almost $900 million.
Right.
Again, these are just domestic. This isn't international.
Yeah.
International, it puts the Avengers ones way up there.
Right.
Kind of happy about this one at number 20, The Dark Knight.
Hey, but it's up there.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, which of your Batman guys is up there? None of them. That's what the answer is. Top 20.
Because this isn't streaming
Christian
in DVD.
Bale.
Anyway. Number 21 is 1978's Grease.
Oh, I hate Grease.
Number 22, I kind of love this. Number 22 is 2004's classic Shrek 2.
Yeah, Shrek. Where Shrek 1 is not up there, like above
Shrek
that?
1,
That's crazy. Shrek was a good movie.
Number 23 is 2002's Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Number 24, the 1996 classic Independence Day.
Great movie. Will Smith,
movie.
So good.
Speaking of Jurassic Park, Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum.
I was like, I don't know why. Ooh, and rounding out the top 25, your favorite Star Wars movie. Episode 9, The Last Jedi.
Gosh, yeah.
Just outside of that, Ghostbusters, Maverick, Beverly Hills Cop, Home Alone, Incredibles, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Great movies. Yeah. Pirates deserved higher.
Oh, yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean, man, at least the first two should be way on up there.
Okay. And this will be the end of it because there's a
more stuff to talk about.
Yeah, there's a deleted scene in, I believe it's the third Pirates of the Caribbean. Do you know about this one?
Maybe.
Where the main villain of the last two movies, the commander of the East India Trading Company,
the
admiral or whatever, him and Jack, when they're talking in the thing about the compass, about like him bargaining and things like that, like
Yeah.
where I believe he gives him the compass. Because it's before Norrington comes in with that. Anyway,
Yeah, you're testing me on a lot of stuff.
so there's a line where the reason why Jack Sparrow is a pirate and why he's being hunted. You
Yeah,
knew
I
about-
did see that. Yeah, yeah.
So it basically says like you didn't deliver on your last contract or whatever, and he says, people aren't cargo.
Yeah. So his whole his whole deal why he became a pirate was because he wouldn't transfer
Trade
slaves and stuff. Yeah.
Like I'm getting goosebumps thinking about that whole scene. Like
So good.
it changes the character of Jack Sparrow so much that I think it almost does a disservice to the rest of the movie.
The fact that they didn't include it in is a shame.
It's such a shame. But yeah, that's one of my favorite deleted scenes that should have been in a movie. It is the first of the month, so you know what time it is.
It is time for our cryptid of the month. But before we get to that, let's take a break real quick for our sponsor, and then we'll be right back to tell you about this month's cryptid. This week, we're going to tell you again about our sponsor, the Salt Collective. So they exist to be able to come alongside small businesses and nonprofits and help them to just do business better. And so as they do that, one of the cool things that the Salt Collective does is they take the businesses that partner with them by hiring them on, and they partner them with the nonprofit organizations that they work with, so that what is paid from the businesses goes to support the nonprofits through the Salt Collective, so they get to do more work for nonprofits as more businesses hire them on. So we love seeing that partnership. We love seeing what they're doing. They work with several of the nonprofits here in our area. They work with several small businesses and friends of ours, and they have done tremendous work to be able to help grow their social media presence, to help them with marketing, and we believe that they could help you as well. So if you're a small business owner, or if you know a small business owner that's looking for some help in marketing, and especially in the world of Facebook and Instagram, all those online places that you can exist, if you know somebody that's in a small business that would like to hire them on for that purpose, or if you are someone that works with a nonprofit organization, we would encourage you to check out RemainSalty.com, or you can go to their Facebook page by searching for the Salt Collective. You can also check them out on Instagram as well. And that we know that if you go check out their website, go check out their social media pages, you'll see the Salt Collective is a great organization doing great things for small businesses and nonprofits. Check out the Salt Collective, RemainSalty.com. We appreciate it. Are you ready to hear about today's
ready. All right, so we first April's was the squonk. What do you got for me for May?
So like I kind of previewed in the last episode that this is not going to be nearly as endearing as the squonk. This one is a little bit more of an obscure one, and it's going to take us to a land far away. So instead of doing one that was close to home, I thought that I'd touch on one that was a little bit further out.
Okay.
This one actually comes from Venezuela.
Ooh, Venezuela.
So
we're going to South America.
South America. So Josh and I have actually been practicing a lot of Spanish lately, so we'll get to hopefully hear some here in the story. Yeah. So our story takes place, at least the first part of it, on November the 29th, 1953.
Okay, so relatively recent.
Relatively recent. Yeah. Not quite, modern day in a sense, but it's close enough.
I would say, as far as like cryptids go, more modern than most.
Yeah, so like, what was it? The Frogman was in the 60s.
Right.
So he was kind of right around the 50s and 60s, so he was right on the same era.
So no indigenous folklore or anything surrounding this one?
No. The reason I chose this one for this month was because it's just kind of a really crazy story, but corroborated over multiple different events.
Adjacent basically to the Frogman.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Yeah, same thing. So we're in Caracas, Venezuela.
Okay.
It's early in the morning. The sun is rising over the city. So Caracas is actually a pretty big city.
Right, yeah. I've heard of it before.
Okay, I didn't know anything about it until I started reading the story, and I was
Let me rephrase it. I've not heard anything about the city. I am aware of the city.
Yeah. So I did a quick Google search because I'm just like, well, what does this place look like? And it's actually it's legit.
It's like a major city?
Yeah, major city in Venezuela. So it's early in the morning, right? The normal hustle and bustle is starting to kind of pick up as everybody's getting awake. And there's two men, Gustavo Gonzalez and Jose Ponce, are driving their delivery van. The thing that they ran was they took food to local markets to be sold and stuff, and so they were just delivery guys out doing their job. So as they're cruising through the streets of Caracas, Venezuela, all of a sudden Gustavo, who's driving, slams on the brakes and brings the van to a halt.
Okay, so Gus is slamming on the brakes.
Gus, yeah. So Gus hits the brakes. So both men stare in amazement as they observe in front of them in the street a 10-foot wide, this is an estimate, 10-foot wide spherical object hovering near the middle of the street and blocking their route. So they can't get past it.
A 10-foot wide sphere.
Sphere, yep, is this is the way they described it.
Okay.
They said that the sphere was luminous and to the point that it was even brighter than the sun's rays that were coming from the morning sun and stuff. So as the sun's peeking over, this thing is shining brighter than the sun coming at it.
Okay.
Both of these men, after sitting there for just a second in disbelief, jump out of their vehicle to take a closer look at this incredible thing that's in front of them. That it's hovering now, so it's off the ground, right?
Okay.
They quickly notice, as they get out, though, that there is a small 4-foot-tall creature standing close to this mechanism, whatever you want to call it, machine.
Okay.
The creature was covered in brown hair, had red, beady eyes, and claws instead of hands.
It's an Ewok.
We're totally going to get to that. That's where my
Shut
mind
up.
went
No
to.
way. Okay.
As one does, Gustavo Gonzalez.
Gets in the truck, turns around, and goes the other way.
Nope. Gustavo decides that the best thing that he could do is try to kidnap this creature.
Wait. This happened in Venezuela, right?
In Venezuela, yeah.
This is some white people crap right here.
That's what I was thinking. So Gustavo rushes in, seizes the creature, and in the report, now this is police report stuff.
As it should be.
In the police report, he noted that the creature was first incredibly light.
Okay.
And that second, his hair was stiff and sharp, was the way that he described it. Now, little did Gustavo know that this creature was also incredibly strong.
Okay.
From his description, as he was holding the creature, so he's got the creature kind of like in a bear hug. Mm-hmm. The creature reaches back with its hand and slaps Gustavo in the stomach. Now, from the description, Gustavo says that it not only did it cause him to have to let go of the creature because it hit him so hard,
Well, duh.
it knocked him back several feet, like off of his feet, like knocked him to the ground into the bushes off the side of the road.
So, like,
It's basically like this. It's a 4-foot tall creature, but it's incredibly strong. Yeah. But he just, like the way he described it was just like open claw, just slapped him and knocked him backwards. So as Jose, his buddy, is watching this struggle between the two, right? Two more of the same creatures emerge from the bushes beside the road, carrying hands full of dirt. Yeah, this is my favorite aspect of the story, and you'll see why in a little bit.
okay.
So this is when Jose decides
To get in the truck and leave.
no way, Jose. He dips out and
Wait,
goes.
did he leave Gustavo?
He left Gustavo on the ground. The creatures now are there. So he's got the one creature that's still close to Gustavo, but has knocked him back several feet onto the ground. The other two have emerged from the bushes and are going towards the craft that they've seen, right? And so Jose dips out and goes to a very nearby, like very close by police station to go seek help, right? He's like, I gotta get somebody else to come.
Did he drive?
No, he walked.
Did he walk?
It was like from the description that I read, it was like a block maybe at best to get to the police station. So he goes to seek out some help, right? While Jose is gone, Gustavo observes that the two other creatures that came out of the bushes jump into the craft, like into this sphere. They jump up into it, but the initial one that he tried to kidnap, the other creature, right, wasn't done with him yet. So he says the first creature that he was wrestling with leapt into the air, over 6 foot into the air, came down towards Gustavo and began to claw at his like midsection. So it like ripped his shirt open, scraped his stomach all up and stuff. So as this is happening, as he sees it jumping and stuff, Gustavo pulls out his pocket knife in the meantime. And when the creature came down, he tried to stab the creature. But when he stabbed at it, he says his pocket knife glanced off of the creature's shoulder like it had hit metal. So it was like whatever this creature is, like the fur on it and stuff is so hard that his knife just kind of glanced off of it. And this is when one of the other two creatures, so this creature's attacking him. He tried to stab it. His knife glanced off of it. The creature scratching at him and stuff. One of the other two that had gone into the ship then came back out of the ship with, in quotations, a weapon of sorts, pointed it in Gustavo's direction and fired what he described as a very bright light that left him paralyzed. This creature like hits him with this beam of some sort, and Gustavo is left like unable to move. And the other creature, when this happens, the first creature returned to the ship. They both jumped back inside, and then it lifted off into the sky with an even brighter light than it had when it was just hovering.
Right.
And it said they said it emitted a loud buzzing sound, was the way it was described. Now, on the backside of this, right, so eventually Jose shows back up with the police. They retrieve Gustavo. They have to carry him back to the police station. Eventually, Gustavo gets all of his faculties back about him and everything. And they actually they had both of them sent to a psych ward, essentially.
No.
Yeah. But they checked him out. Like, so doctors checked him out, psychologists checked him out, everything. And they said they did tests to see, had they been drinking? Were they on drugs?
Right.
They did all the tests, and they said both of these guys are totally sane and not using anything that would have caused any of these kind of like a hallucination or anything like that. So they're both found to be completely sober. So all this stuff is put into the police report and is kind of kept. The funny thing about this is that around that same time and later on, there's 3 more incidents that happen that involve these same creatures. Come to find out, when this report comes out, Horatio Barcenas, another man, reports that on November the 4th, earlier that month, he had been outside on, he had a small boat that he sailed, and had some guys that would go with him and stuff. And so they were out sailing and noticed something on the beach nearby where his printing studio that he worked at was.
Okay.
They go over to see what's going on, and they see what they described as a sphere hovering above the sand on the beach. Horatio pulls the boat up onto the shore a ways away. He says that the guys that were with him all ran away. Like they're
the first smart people of this entire story. So he goes up, tries to kidnap.
Yeah. So the way that he described it, they were all like native Indian guys. He was not, and so all the Indian guys run away, and Horatio goes and basically like squats down behind some bushes that are like off on the side of the beach, and is watching this craft and kind of observing, when he sees 4-foot tall creatures, 3 of them, come out of bushes like over near where the craft is. Same thing, brown fur, red beady eyes, claws, and all of them, as they're going back to the ship,
like sand in
are
there?
carrying handful of dirt back to the ship.
Interesting. When you said like coming out of the bushes, like I pictured like the cartoony thing where he's like looking through the bushes, and then they all like just come and like, what are you looking at?
Hey bud, what you watching there? But I think it's funny that like in both of these first 2 stories, they're carrying dirt.
Why
we have no answers to this, like why they haven't.
Yeah, okay.
A full year later,
so 57?
50.
I thought you said 54. Okay, so this was 53. Okay.
Yeah, and 54.
So well before any major sci-fi stuff is out.
Yeah, and so this one kind of solidifies things, because the 2 guys that are involved in this, there was a lot of like studying done with them, and they found out that even though these 2 were avid readers, they had never read anything about UFOs or alien sightings or anything along those lines. So they had no basis for, you know what I'm saying, like to make up a story that would corroborate with this. And they hadn't read the stories of Gustavo and Jose and Horatio.
Right.
And so this completely like separated events and in different parts of Venezuela. I'll tell you about where they were. So Lorenzo Flores, who was age 10 at the time,
Okay.
and Jesus Gomez, who is age 12, were returning home from hunting rabbits. They were in a place called Cerro de las Tres Torres, which is Hill of Three Towers.
Yep.
As they're on their way home, walking down this path, they see behind some bushes kind of off in the side of the woods what they described as a shiny machine.
Okay.
So-
that is aligned with the other two.
Right. So they thought at first maybe it's a car or something like that that's parked back there because they couldn't really make it out.
Right.
As they got closer to it and on the other side of the bushes, they said it looked like their words were 2 soup bowls put together. So it's spherical.
Yeah.
And they said it was roughly the size of like 2 cars. So
Okay.
it's pretty good size. As they're looking at the machine, like, mesmerized by it in a sense, all of a sudden, Flores hears Gomez screaming. He turns around to see 4 small creatures.
Oh, so they brought back up.
They brought a buddy. All matching the same previous descriptions that I've given before. Brown fur, red beady eyes, claws.
Carrying dirt.
Nope.
Oh.
This time, they're trying to carry Jesus away. These guys are now trying to kidnap Jesus and take him back to their craft.
My, how the turns have tables.
Yeah. So, being a good friend, Lorenzo begins to swing his prized shotgun that he's holding like a club at these creatures. He even cited in the report that they gave to his parents and stuff that his dad had instructed him not to keep the gun loaded when they were walking home, so he didn't have shells in it.
Great gun safety.
So he's just thinking like, all right, I'm going to use it to try to beat these guys. After striking the creatures 4 or 5 different times, and the creatures not reacting to him at all, he said that the butt of the gun shattered into several different pieces. So he the wood on it broke and fell apart. He said, but the creatures just seemed unfazed by the attacks, didn't bother him at all. After he hit him a few times, though, the creatures released Jesus, and the 2 boys fled home, right? They just ran away.
Right.
The parents noted when they got home that Jesus' shirt, like the whole bottom half of his shirt, was ripped open and torn, and that he had scratches all over his torso. So he had actually been, like, attacked by something. These 2 boys, like I said, they talked to doctors, they talked to a bunch of different people, and they determined, like, even though these boys were readers, they had not read any of the reports about the things that went on with Gustavo, the things that had happened with Horatio. They hadn't read any books based around UFOs or anything along those lines. And so they couldn't find any reason why these boys would have to make this up. And they said that the shotgun that got broken was Lorenzo's prized possession, that the kid took meticulous care of.
So
the
it's not like he
shotgun
would,
stuff.
destroy it.
So he's not going to break it on purpose or anything along those lines. And so, again, just adding validity to their story. So then the final one, the third one, was a similar story came from Jesus Paz, who stepped off into the woods to take a leak from a group of friends of his. And eventually, after a few minutes of being gone, his friends went looking for him because it took longer than it should have. And they had to rescue him from these same Space Dwarves trying to kidnap Jesus. And so his 3 friends came and found him and had to chase the things off and stuff. And that was the last known sighting. So that was in 1954, the last known sighting of what has been deemed as the Venezuelan hairy Space Dwarves.
That's great.
Is what they're calling
so it's one of those things where so this all of the attempted kidnappings stemmed from Gustavo trying to kidnap the
them.
first one.
Yeah. So here's my theory, because
okay,
you mentioned Ewoks.
Yeah.
Have you seen the stuff about when Luke and Leia and all of them go to Endor and are with the Ewoks?
Uh-huh.
If you notice, when they're in the Ewok village, the Ewoks give a dress to Leia for her to wear.
Right, which means that there had to have been a female.
Which means that a female human being was with the Ewoks at some point in time. And
now gone.
Some people speculate either she lived a long life and died there as a friend of theirs, or the Ewoks ate the woman
Yeah.
and had the dress left over to be able to give to Leia.
Because, well, and I would ascribe to the second, because what were they trying to do with Luke and Han?
Oh, they were going to cook them.
Yeah, exactly.
So feeds into that maybe Ewoks are based off of real creatures that were in Venezuela in the 50s trying to kidnap people to take back and eat on
100%.
Endor.
And the fact that Bigfoot are just abandoned Wookiees.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So everything ties back to Star Wars, guys. That's what we're saying.
100%.
So George Lucas, we believe, may not actually be a human. Not confirmed yet, but we'll do some research.
But yeah, no, that's I have never heard of that one.
Yeah, so that's the story of the Venezuelan hairy space dwarves. Which when I read the name of it, I was just like, oh, I have to look into this one. That's good stuff.
Man, now we got to play Deep Rock Galactic again.
Yeah, that's good stuff. I love it.
Awesome.
All right, what else you got for me today?
All right, again, we both like movies. We both like music. Mm-hmm. I asked AI to give me a list of the top 10 bands of all time.
Okay.
Which honestly, like, this list is for, I would say, and anything with the top 10 is all subjective.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is in no order. So what I'm going to do is we're going to play a little quick game. Is I'm going to give you the 2 bullet point synopsis of the band, and you got to guess the band.
Okay, awesome. So these are
I was going to say, all of these bands.
These are supposed to be the top bands
of all time.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So we'll start off with the first one. All right. So the first one is credited with revolutionizing popular music, songwriting, and studio production, and their impact on culture is immeasurable.
Oh, man.
It's a band that I personally think are overrated.
Okay.
And I'll even narrow it down. They were part of and started the British invasion of music.
My initial thought was that it's the Beatles is what they're going to say. I personally hate the Beatles.
I think they were right place, right time.
Yeah, they were right place, right time, and they happened to just be decent-looking young men that made the girls swoon over them. But musically, they were not great. They, like you said, it was just they happened to be able to capitalize on a right moment, and that was it.
Right.
Because when you're first describing it, you're talking about changing music and all that kind of stuff. I wanted to be like my favorite band, Led Zeppelin, but but then you started talking about I definitely think it was really funny. Back a while ago, we were at the theater where we meet for church, and Steve, who was the manager of the theater, was in there talking to some other people. And he just, without consulting me at all first, he just goes, Josh, most overrated band of all time. And I, off the top of my head, just went the Beatles. And he goes, thank you very much. And
I'm in the same boat. Again, they capitalize on being in the right place, the right time. The female population moving out of the repressed and everything. Yeah. And I think that helped to propel them into popularity.
For sure.
Right. Second one, embodied the raw energy of rock and roll with a legendary career spanning decades and known for their iconic sound and stage presence.
It's got to be Kiss.
No.
No? Queen.
No.
Really?
When people talk about people living forever, this guitarist is specifically mentioned.
Is it Led Zeppelin?
No.
I was about to say, because they weren't massively known for their stage presence.
Keith Richards.
Man, don't tell me. I need to get this one.
Papa was
the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, there you go.
I was there. Yeah. I just had to think of it.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Do you agree or disagree with that description?
I don't disagree. Well, the description I think is fine. I just was thinking other people, especially with the stage presence things, because Kiss, Queen, they just had more of a presence to me. But I get the Keith Richards and the guys in the band. They had a stage presence for sure.
Oh, they did. It goes back to our concert thing.
Yeah,
they commanded their audience. They captivated their audience
for sure. Yeah, I don't have an issue with it, and I think that as far as I was never a big Rolling Stones fan.
Same.
But I
still appreciate their music.
I appreciated it, and I understood why they were considered to be one of the top ones like that in a sense. So,
all right. Next one, pioneered hard rock and heavy metal, blending blues, rock, and mystical elements. Their musical innovation and power remain influential.
That Zeppelin seems
Yep,
like the right answer to
100%,
me.
100%.
It had to be Zeppelin or Floyd. Those
Yep.
like the only two that kind of like fit in that category.
Yeah. No,
So-
I think the amount of places that it's drawn, that their music was drawn from, like the different elements that they drew from, definitely were very pioneering during that era.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Cool. Zeppelin. So what number are we on now?
That was 3. This is 4. All right. So known for their theatrical performances, genre-bending music, and lead singers' iconic vocals, and their music continues to resonate with generations. I had to change the
Lead singer's iconic vocals. Is it Queen?
Yeah.
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 Queen makes sense.
One of my favorite bands. Number
Super
5.
solid.
All right. Brought explosive rock or energy to rock with powerful anthems, groundbreaking concept albums, and their influence on rock and punk music is undeniable.
Rock and punk music.
Which I didn't see, but the more I thought about it, I was like, oh yeah, okay.
That one's escaping me a little bit.
Have you ever watched CSI?
Oh, the Who? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. I see that.
Like at first when I was like reading it out loud, I was like, punk music. I was like, oh yeah, no, I kind of get it. Like that kind of guitar-y, grungy sound. Like
get fooled again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm taking my sunglasses off.
All
right.
Delivering some cheesy
6.
line.
Yeah. Number 6. Masters of progressive rock, known for their experimental soundscapes and concept albums. Their music is both atmospheric and thought-provoking.
Is that Pink Floyd?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. These are good descriptions. Whoever wrote those, that's
AI.
solid. AI did it?
Yeah, AI did this.
That's good.
All right. Although they're technically a trio, this singer and his band revolutionized guitar playing, and their influence on rock and roll is immeasurable.
Nirvana.
No.
No? A trio?
Uh-huh.
Man, I'm having a hard time thinking of, like, trios.
I don't know if this will help. I believe he was a left-handed guitarist.
So it's the lead guy? Is that the name of who it is? So Hendrix?
Yeah, the Jimi Hendrix
Hendrix,
experience.
yeah.
I think he was a left-handed guitar player, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
All right, this is a hard disagree for me on this list, along with the Beatles.
Okay.
Known for their high energy, rock and roll, and consistent sound, and this is the big thing that I disagree with being on this list. They have created some of the most iconic rock and roll anthems.
Iconic rock and roll anthems. Is that Kiss? Mm-mm. No? Thank goodness, because I would disagree with that too, but I don't know. I'm lost on that one.
AC/DC.
I mean,
they have a few songs that I enjoy, but to me, every song sounds exactly the same.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like AC/DC. My roommate when I was in college at East Carolina, he was massive into AC/DC, and so we listened to a lot of their stuff. And I think if you get outside of the top like 4 or 5 songs,
the only songs that are played on the radio,
yeah, they start to diversify a little bit more as you get outside of those.
And I think my disdain for AC/DC comes from that simple fact of like working construction and listening to the rock stations and stuff. So
yeah.
All right, last 2. So masterful songwriters and musicians that defined a large portion of the 70s rock scene, and their harmonies and songwriting are still widely loved.
Harmonies.
I will just add one big clue: 7 Bridges Road.
Oh, the Eagles.
Yes.
Yeah. Jeez Louise.
And the last one...
Because I was kind of thinking, like, when you say harmonies and stuff like that, I was like, there's a lot of them that kind of fit that category. Kansas.
Yeah.
Like some of the bigger names like that. So, yeah.
Last one, which this is a debatable one for the last one. Pioneers of heavy metal and thrash metal. They have pushed boundaries of heavy music and remained very popular.
Metallica.
Yep.
Yeah. I figured they had to be on the list somewhere just because of,
And, I mean, the one thing
popularity-wise.
about most of these bands is, even though they are all from, 60s and up?
Yeah. Most of them are from the 70s.
Yeah, everybody knows their music. And I mean, I guess
for sure.
you can consider that a qualifying of being one of the top 10 bands of all time.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I think that's super solid. That was good. That was a good list.
And then
So-
I was going to say, a follow-up for a future episode, I have the most overrated bands.
Oh,
And
yeah, I got you.
that's going to be Hot Topics, right there.
Which we've already got the Beatles on there as number 1. So for everybody else that's listening out there, take time, go comment on either a social media post or on Spotify if you're on there. And let us know if you were going to add a band to that list, what would be your top band that you would say needs to be on the most influential or top bands of all time list, and let us know why. We want to don't just say a band's name, because if you just throw a band out there, we want to know what makes them one of the best bands of all time.
Tell me exactly why Nickelback should have been on that list.
I don't disagree. You and I have talked about it before. We both actually like Nickelback and totally buy
Come
into
at us, comments.
Yeah. So, anyways, let us know that in the comments. We also want you guys to go like us on social media if you haven't already, and follow us on there, because that's where we do a lot of updates and a lot of interaction with you guys. Give us the 5-star review with some comments on there, because we read our 5-star reviews as well. We don't read 1-star reviews, so if you leave one of those,
no, we're just going to make fun of you and call you out for it.
We will call you out for it for sure. Leave us a 5-star review, because it helps us out in the algorithms and all that kind of stuff. We would appreciate that. What else do we want them to do?
If you enjoyed this cryptid, I know I sure did. Let us know if you want us to talk about one next month. So we'll have one for June. Let us know what you want to hear about. We'll start doing the research and everything. So let us know.
Josh will be up on our next cryptid of the month.
Yes, sir. I have a few ideas, but I always love to look at the more obscure ones.
Absolutely.
So, and then like us on all the socials, comment, and at the end of this month, we will kind of culminate all of those and kind of go through them, and let us know if you have any questions, because we had a really good discussion topic with last month's things. So on that note, we will see you later.
We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Juicy. That was well brought up. Too bad you weren't.
Heyo.
Heyo.